Hey everybody, it's Nathan from Doctors of Running. Today we are going to go over the Puma Deviate Nitro Elite. We all got it in the mail yesterday, and I'm going to take it out on my first run. And we haven't really done this before, but I'm going to give you my first run impressions of the shoe. But before I head out there, I want to give a little bit of detail on the specs of this guy. So it is their racing flat that they've created within the Nitro line. It has a different midsole than the other ones. It's the Nitro Elite midsole. It's a supercritical foam that's Puma based, and it's infused with nitrogen, and so it's very lightweight, it's very soft, very squishy, and you've got a nice decent amount of it here. In terms of stack, you have 36 millimeters in the heel and 28 millimeters in the forefoot, which is going to give you an 8 millimeter drop. In the box, they gave a really nice explosion diagram that has, and I'll actually hold it up here, it kind of shows you the pattern of how this shoe is broken down from top to bottom. So you have the upper, the sock liner, and then you're going to have your first layer of Nitro Elite foam, which is really, really soft. Under that, you're gonna have the carbon fiber plate, which extends through the forefoot. Has a really nice design. I'll try to show you here on the explosion diagram again, but it has a split to the big toe, and we'll talk about how that could be potentially beneficial, and it ends short at the first ray. So we'll talk about that a little more, a little reminiscent of what was going on with the Carbon X. And then underneath the inner plate, you're gonna have more Nitro Elite midsole, except they don't say this, so we're talking with their team actually this week, so maybe I'll confirm this, but just from the press test, pushing the foam above the plate versus below, it is feeling a little bit firmer below, which could be a really nice component in terms of creating a more stable platform on such a soft foam. And then you have their rubber grippy outsole, and there's actually a pretty good amount of it. This isn't something that you're gonna probably blow through right away. You have a little bit of leeway here. And again, this thing is light, which is helped by the upper. This is, for me, this is a size 9, under 7 ounces. 6.7 ounces, pretty awesome. So I'm excited to take it out for a run. The last thing I'll talk about just in terms of its construction is the upper. Very thin, breathable mono mesh looking upper that is kind of reminiscent of what you saw in the Speed Elite, except this is even a little thinner and a little bit softer and more comfortable, especially on initial step in. The other thing that they do that's nice that we'll talk about later is they do have a little bit of a soft strap that comes up around the medial and lateral side of the midfoot just to secure the upper a little bit more. It's not a gusseted tongue, which is rare these days, but we'll see how it does in terms of staying in place on the run. The final thing here, there's no heel counter. There's a little bit of rigidity through the back side here, which is going to give it a little bit of form, and it's not going to give all the way, but it also has, hopefully you can see, a little bit of padding on the medial and lateral sides, which hopefully is going to help with some security, but that's all to be determined. So I'm going to take this out on the run, and then we'll be back and I'll give a few quick thoughts in terms of how this thing runs. About 2 miles in, wanted to give a quick update. So I did the first 2 miles after just a really quick warm up. First 2 miles at my 10K pace. So for me, that was between 6:30 and 6:45 minutes per mile. And it felt really good in terms of very bouncy. The upper is really secure. I'm not getting any heel slippage. And then just first thing too, just no noticing of, at least at my 10K pace, no initial incidents of feelings of instability at all. Felt pretty stable from heel to forefoot, really soft, really bouncy at that pace, easy to get up on the toe. Can feel a little bit of flexibility over that first ray, which is probably due to that split and a little bit shorter carbon plate at that first ray, which is really nice. Helped to get up and propulse over that. So I'm gonna try to bring it down now a little bit, go a little bit slower, hit my marathon, half marathon pace, hit those next 2 over the next couple miles, and hopefully finish up strong. The other thing I wanted to bring up is that they created a women's and a men's last for this. So for the women, it's going to be a little bit more narrow in the heel, and it's a little bit deeper of a step in, but I'll have to look back to confirm, but they did create 2 different lasts for this shoe specific to men and women and their fit. So we're seeing that more commonly. It's good to see it here in a racing flat.
All right, I just finished the first run. I took those last 3. I got just over 5 miles total, so it's a small sample size, but as we get more testing, we got a lot more to do. I'll have more to say, and our whole team's gonna get stuff on there. I split the last 3 miles between my half marathon effort pace and marathon effort pace. So for me, that's at around like a 7:15 for the half marathon pace, and then an 8-minute right under that for marathon pace. A lot of good things to say about the shoe. Felt good at all of the different paces that I brought it through today. Again, small sample size. What I would say is as I was dipping down a little bit slower into my marathon pace effort, the foam just felt softer. And as I picked up the pace and when I was going more of that 10K, it responded to what I was putting into it, is what it felt like. So really, really nice soft landing for those slower paces, and then it would pick up and not feel too boggy at the faster paces. Again, I really like just the touch of flexibility through the forefoot because of the split carbon plate design and a little bit of a shorter distance that it travels distally at the first ray. That felt really good, especially when I slowed down, because it allowed the foot to just move at that little bit slower pace. Sweating a lot. But a couple other things I just wanted to say too about the fit. I mean, I'm going to show you this shoe right now because you can basically see through. So you can see kind of how the shoe is fitting on my foot. My toes are finishing right here. This is my men's size 9, and it fits me really well. So I got, you know, that about a thumb's width at the top, and then I do have a thumb's width laterally and like a half a thumb medially, but it's really secure. Like once you get into the midfoot where these straps are, there we go, there the straps are, that really secures the foot really well, and I had absolutely no heel slippage at any pace. So it just felt really comfortable. The shoe's really, really comfortable. And again, I'm not an elite runner, so I told you kind of where my efforts fall. It felt really good for me, and at any of those paces, it felt pretty stable on this first attempt. So excited to see what the other guys on the team say once they get more miles in as well. But big takeaways is that it's on that softer end. So I would say softer than the Endorphin Pro, softer even than, you know, the Hoka Rocket X and the Carbon X2, but not quite as soft as maybe Zoom X is sitting there. It's a little bit more from that, but it's got a lot of give to it, a lot of propulsion as you pick up the pace, and the fit is spot on for me. It seems like they did a really good job there, and the upper comfort is unreal. Oh, non-gusseted tongue was not a problem. No movement of that tongue at all, and it's just really breathable. So really good first impressions. Again, we'll have a lot more to say once we get more miles on this shoe, and that is first impressions of the Puma Nitro Deviate Elite, Deviate Nitro Elite. I'm tired. One of those two. Talk to you guys soon.